Welcome, students. This is the other method that you can use for demon evocation, and I've called this the safety method. And it's the safety method because you know and the demon knows exactly where everybody is supposed to be. And the purpose of this isn't to protect or block out. It's just a stage so everyone knows what they're going to do, where they're going to be, and it makes for easier communication. That is the goal here, to communicate with a demon. So what do you need to do to begin the ritual? Firstly, you need to obviously prepare by knowing which demon you want to contact. You'll need the demon sigil. You'll need to know what the demon might like. What may you have to add to this ritual to make it more enticing for your demon to appear? You'll have to obviously prepare all the tools before the ritual begins. And you'll want to start this ritual on a day that's ruled under the planet Saturn, especially if you're a witch. That's really important. So that's on a Saturday night. And the time you choose, I'm going to leave it up to you right now. It'll depend on your own body clock, I suppose, but most of us will do this around midnight if you like. And if you're really dedicated, like I was on this particular night, it was around 3 o'clock in the morning. But once again, maybe your demon will ask you to do this at a different time, and that's perfectly okay. So the most important thing I want you to know before you begin this is you need to be able to truly visualize what you want before you start this ritual. A demon isn't going to make up your mind for you. You need to make up your own mind and then put that intention over to the demon. Here is what I want, demon. This is specifically what I'm looking for. The demon isn't going to decide for you. Now, this is the overall look of the area once you're in full swing of the ritual. But to set up this ritual, I just wanted to show you the space like this. Don't light the candles as yet, but you've got the triangle and the circle. You've got the altar inside the circle. You've got the candles at specific points. So this is the setup that you're really going for, and it's all pointing to the east. Of course, if you're using a plywood board with the scrying mirror on the board, that would be sitting upright. But the goal is that you're sitting in a place that you could look past the triangle or into the triangle, and the demon can manifest in that triangle. Now, when you're setting up your altar, you'll set up 2 candles either side of the altar, the sigil's in the middle, the chalice, if you're using a chalice, is to your left, and the dagger, or maybe even a wand if you like, is to your right. The sigil is in the middle. And so this is how the altar will look and feel during the ritual time. I do normally use a black tablecloth under this, and I'm normally nude. Now comes the exciting part. When I begin a ritual of any kind, I always draw down from source energy. We have to get our energy from somewhere. So some of you might do dance, and some might do long intensive meditations or drumming, whatever you do. But for me personally, I draw down the energy from above. I draw it down into my soul, and I expand out on it, so my whole entire aura is this gigantic ball of very bright, very strong energy. Once you've done that, you're ready to actually light the candles and the incense, and maybe you want to offer a blood offering. You could do that on the sigil, on the candles. Wherever you like to offer that blood offering, you can do so if you so wish. Take your dagger or your wand, if you're using a wand, or ritual knife in your right hand, thrust it up to the sky and visualize a beam of light from above entering into that object. Then you're going to point the object down to the triangle and draw along the outside of the triangle, visualizing the light energy entering and surrounding that triangle. Now you're going to say the following, or something like the following. Astaroth, I ask that you appear before me on this night in this consecrated triangle of manifestation. Now move on to the circle, stand behind your altar, use your wand or a tame or dagger, And visualize a white light coming from above into your object, and then draw around the circle. Now both the circle and the triangle are both sealed and ready. Now you'll work on the sigil. Once again, gather energy into your object and point it toward the sigil. Draw down the beam of light along the outline of the sigil, visualizing the white energy burning into every inch of that sigil. The sigil will be glowing with energy. Once you've done that, place your hands on the altar with the sigil between them. You'll stare at that sigil now until the shape of that sigil, until every line in that sigil is etched into your mind's eye. This might take 1 minute, or maybe you just really relax into really absorbing that sigil. This is your demon sigil. Once you really get that in between your third eye, and you can close your eyes, you can actually see that sigil still there in your vision. You can open your eyes and look into the triangle. Soften your gaze and bring the image of the sigil from the mind's eye into the triangle. So as you look into that triangle, you'll actually start to see the sigil. If you're burning incense, the sigil will be absorbed into the incense. Maybe not, maybe it sits there. Just allow it to do whatever it wants to do. If you lose focus, that's okay. If you can bring it back, can't you do it? And if you can't, just don't. But what you'll be doing now is calling the demon into the triangle. Say something like this. Astaroth, I call on you to appear in this triangle and communicate with me in a language I can understand. Come to me, Astaroth. By the powers of darkness, I request you come to this unholy temple. Astaroth, I call you here. Come to me, Astaroth, and hear my words tonight. Come to me. At this point, you'll begin to notice the energy change. It may be subtle, but you are still scrying into the mirror or the triangle. Now, while we have this triangle of manifestation in front of us, the demon may appear absolutely anywhere. Could be behind you, could be beside you, could be in the distance. It really doesn't matter. We're not worried about controlling where the demon appears. We're just focusing still ahead into the mirror and past the mirror if you're looking into darkness to try and pick up the energies from that. As you get better at it and the demon might appear somewhere else, then you can do whatever you want to do. But just for now, stay focused on this ritual. Now, when you feel the demon's presence, you'll want to welcome the demon into your space. Say something like, Astaroth, I welcome you into my dark temple. I thank you for your presence. My name is Savannah. Now, you're entitled to ask the demon for his name or her name as well, and it may or may not give it to you. You can ask for the demon to apply its signature to your sigil. It may or may not. And you can also add a drop of your own blood as a signature on the demon sigil. Totally up to you. Once you've done this, you can now ask the demon whatever you want to ask it. You have to ask really clearly and firmly, and don't sound like you're groveling. Say something like this. Astaroth, I have called you here tonight into my temple so that I may request from you whatever it is, power, knowledge, wisdom, money, whatever it is, be really specific. Now, you don't have to repeat yourself, but there's no harm if you do. The best idea is to have what you want written down, so that way you're stating it really clearly and you have it written. If you don't feel like you've been understood, then you can meditate while at your altar with the demon present and visualize your intention until it's clear. at that stage you may state what you want again. That's totally cool as well. Now, you might have already worked with this demon with your earlier foil exercises that I had you doing. And if that's the case, you may be open or more understanding of the demon's feedback and energy. And if that's the case, take some notes now on what you're feeling while at the altar, while in the ritual. The trouble is, if you interpret it when you're outside the circle, it may not be you may filter what happened inside the circle and apply some form of logic or some other, something else you read into your notes. But try and keep it as fresh as you can, no matter how long it takes, while you're sitting at that altar table, while you're in that energy circle, while you have the demon present. Now, if the demon's making you feel super, super uncomfortable, or you think that you've brought in some negative energy, just banish it straight away. You don't have to do a lesser banishing of the pentagram. You just say, I dismiss you immediately from this temple. You are not welcome here. Get out. Right? Really, really firm. Don't even be scared. You have the authority and you have to believe that you do. Otherwise, you're screwed anyways. So just dismiss whoever you don't want there. But I really don't think that you're going to encounter many situations like this, if ever. In closing, when it comes to finishing the ritual, you're going to then thank and dismiss your demon for its presence, whether you felt the presence or not. Just believe that that demon is there. If you've called it into the space, it's going to be there. The thing is, you may not just be able to connect with it. And that isn't always your fault. It's just sometimes there's that translator or the translation that you guys are missing. And it happens to me often. So say something like this: Astaroth, you have honored me with your presence tonight, and I am so grateful for your wisdom and guidance here in my dark temple. Now, respectfully return to your own realm as I return to my realm. By the powers of darkness, you are dismissed. It's only then that you'll snuff out the candles, and then the final part of this ritual is to visualize all that energy that still exists in the space. If you see auras, if you see energy, the energy will still be there in the circle, in the triangle, and on the sigil. And what you're going to do now is ground that energy into the earth, thereby releasing the entire space from the ritual. And also so it doesn't absorb your energy for the rest of the night or for the rest of the day. So visualize the light, the energy, and slowly pushing it down into the earth. If you like, you can draw over the circle again, through the triangle and through the sigil backwards, and then push all that energy into the earth. And many times I'll even touch the ground with the palms of my hands just to finalize it and maybe say, so mote it be, but I'm also a witch. Whatever you say is perfectly fine. And I can't wait for your feedback.